Hey everyone, so today I'm expanding on the topic of nonverbal communication in the workplace. The source that I used for this presentation comes from a scholarly article titled Louder Than Words: The Hidden Power of Nonverbal Communication in the Workplace by Fred C. Lunenburg. Quoted here, Lunenburg states, "It is estimated that people communicate at least as much non-verbally, i.e. without words, as they do verbally. It is important for leaders to understand the meanings of nonverbal cues from organization members in the workplace. In this article, I examined the four kinds of nonverbal communication: kinesics, proxemics, paralanguage, and chronemics." So what is nonverbal communication? Here there are seven forms of nonverbal communication: kinesics, vocalics, personal appearance, physical space, proxemics, haptics, and chronemics. And we'll discuss these more in depth now. So kinesics. Kinesics refers to the study of body movements, including your posture, your gestures, facial expressions, eye behavior, touching, etc. Gestures can reveal a lot about how people are feeling. And when people, for instance, when people are excited, they tend to gesture more. Conversely, when people feel down, they tend to gesture less or just differently. So that's something to pay attention to. Furthermore, paralanguage. So paralanguage covers aspects of vocalics. This refers to voice quality, volume, tempo, pitch, non-fluencies. Those are things like within a speech, laughing or yawning. Oftentimes, a person's intelligence will be judged based off of their speech or the way that they speak. Furthermore, physical appearance. So, especially in the workplace, a huge nonverbal cue is the way that you dress or your physical appearance. Oftentimes, higher status people tend to dress more formally than their lower status counterparts or members of an organization. Usually, you can identify a leader in the room just simply off of the way that they dress. So, a little pro tip is when you look like a leader, you're often treated as one. Proxemics. So proxemics refers to the way that people perceive and use space. So something that falls under the category of proxemics is the four personal space zones, the first one being intimate, the second being personal, the third social, and fourth public. So intimate space is less than around 2 feet from a person. Personal space is from that 2 feet to about 4 feet. Social space is from 4 feet to 12 feet, and public space is 12 feet to 25 feet or further. Another thing that falls under the category of proxemics is physical space. So employees of a higher status oftentimes have better offices than lower status employees. So you may see a higher ranking employee in a large office with big windows, a personal desk, and a lower level employee may work in a smaller cubicle. So in this situation, oftentimes superiors will feel comfortable walking directly into their subordinate space, but the same doesn't apply to a subordinate where they feel more tentative to do so to their superior. So chronemics is all about time. So whether you're late, early, or whether you keep people waiting, the way that you treat time can convey a variety of messages about you, so it's important to be careful. If you're often late, it can convey carelessness or laziness to your coworkers or your boss. So know your position. If a superior arrives late, it often reinforces their position as a superior. Their tardiness can oftentimes symbolize power. So there are 6 ways that nonverbal communication directly affects verbal discourse. So the first one being that nonverbal signs emphasize our words. So utilizing forceful gestures, a variation of vocal volume, and a rate of speech, or intentional pauses can emphasize the words that we're speaking. The second being nonverbal communication can repeat what we say. So saying yes while nodding your head or giving a thumbs up, or saying no while shaking your head reinforces the verbal cues. The third is nonverbal signals as substitutes for words. So when words are not needed, gestures can suffice as a substitute. For instance, shaking your head to signify displeasure or using a thumbs up to signify that someone did a good job. Fourth is nonverbal signals as regulators of speech, also referred to as turn-taking signals. These gestures can help us to initiate the transition of speaking and listening roles in a conversation. 5, nonverbals can contradict verbal communication. So sometimes we may say one thing while our body language communicates another. For example, saying what you had a great time, but not supporting that claim with enthusiasm in your voice or facial expressions, i.e., having a flat voice or a blank face. Sixth and final is nonverbal signals complement verbal communication. So we can use nonverbal signals to complement the verbal content of a message. So as Martin Remlin stated, finally, we can use nonverbal signals to complement the verbal content of our message. Being upset could mean we feel angry, depressed, disappointed, or just a bit on edge. These nonverbal signals can help to clarify the words we use to reveal the true nature of our feelings. In conclusion, nonverbals are a very rich form of communication and can make or break your status in the workplace. So ask yourself, what can I do to present myself more favorably in the workplace? Pay attention to the nonverbals that you portray to your coworkers as well as the signals they are giving off to you in order to create a better work environment.